All right, everybody. Huge New York City news. On September 22nd, your boy will be doing Radio City Music Hall, folks, in New York City. Tickets on sale today at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The pre-sale tickets, only pre-sale. You have to use the promo code Chrissy. Use the promo code Chrissy, CHRISSY. Radio City on sale right now. Pre-sale, promo code Chrissy, September 22nd, Radio City, baby. Now, if you're not in the New York area, you don't want to travel, I will be in California this week. Friday in Fresno, Saturday in San Jose, Sunday in Sacramento, and also I'll be in Vancouver tomorrow. And then in March, we have Florida, Fort Myers, Orlando, Jacksonville, West Palm Beach, and Miami. March 24th, 25th in Boston. All 4 shows at the Wilbur have sold out. We will be announcing a show in Medford, Massachusetts for the fall. It might be out there already, so those tickets sold out quick. So if you want to see Chrissy Boston's, Chrissy Paul Revere's, ChristyComedy.com for Tiki Wikis. And then in April 1st, we have Tampa, Florida. April 12th, Austin, Texas. April 13th, San Antonio. So Ralph Barbosa fans, come all to that. May 5th, Buffalo. May 6th, Ithaca. May 7th, Albany. Mike Cannon will be with me on those. And May 28th, Newport, Rhode Island. But baby, September 22nd, Radio City, pre-sale code happening, New York City. Use the promo code Chrissy. It's a big one, babe. So I want you to come out for that big moment for me, and I'm gonna shoot a little stinker out of a t-shirt cannon.
What's up, sexy chickens? Coming up in March, we got Niagara Falls. We got a big one at the Prudential Center in Newark on March 10th. March 11th at the Dome in Wallingford, Connecticut. March 12th, Long Island, where you at? Long Island, stand up, man. March 12th in Long Island at the UBS Arena. This is basically our hometown show. Can't wait to see you guys. And then we got Milwaukee, Rosemont, Seattle, Portland, Boston, and so on. And so we redid Boston because the pipes broke.
Yeah, the pipes broke with the Wang
April
Theater.
29th back at the Wang, and I think we're adding a show, but don't say nothing. I told you. Everything's on sale right now at ImpracticalJokersLive.com. I'll see you guys on the road.
If you want to win meet and greet tickets to see us on the road on tour, we do not sell them. We are not doing them. The only way you could win them is by this contest I'm about to tell you about right now. Every single Thursday night at 10 o'clock Eastern, there are new episodes of Impractical Jokers Season 10 right now. All you got to do is take a picture of you watching the episode. Could be with friends, family, or alone, naked, eating a bowl of cereal. Hashtag it Jokers Watch Party on any social you have. And every single week, including tonight and every Thursday, we are going to pick winners and give away tickets to the tour and meet and greets. It's the only way you can get a meet and greet. Tonight's episode is Post Malone. He's the best. Check it out. Again, every single Thursday night at 10 on True and TBS. Hashtag Jokers Watch Party. I hope to meet you and greet you on the road.
Don't be a fake. Don't be a flake. Don't run away from your feelings, babe. Don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed. Don't hesitate to say, hey, babe. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. Hey, babe.
Just the two of us.
We
can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Hey, and babe. Hey, babe.
How are you today?
How are you today? Now, let me tell you. Before we have a great guest. You've heard of LBJ, okay? You've heard of
Lyndon Johnson, you mean?
You've heard of LBJ.
Okay.
You've heard of MJ. You've heard of BJJ, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Sure.
But my favorite one of all, RWJ, Roy Wood Jr., folks.
Oh, there it is.
Has LeBron James taken LBJ from Lyndon Bain Johnson at
He
this
should,
point?
right?
Is it Bain?
I don't know.
Because I was about to say, and I said Lyndon Johnson because I was like, what is the middle? Is it Baines?
Imagine the B is for Bain. He's like, give me back your city.
Second term is mine.
Yes, I killed Kennedy.
Is it Lyndon Baines Johnson?
Something
Imagine
like
your middle
that.
name is Bain.
Listen, I don't know. Did I mention I work at The Daily Show? I should probably know this type of shit.
Yes.
Do you? That's a
Wait,
good,
no, you work at The Daily Show. Allegedly. Not yet.
No, hosting. He works at it.
He works at it. Yeah. Oh.
We want you to host it. Listen, who are the powers that be, really?
Seriously.
We want you to host it.
Honestly.
Everyone wants you to host it.
Yeah.
You are beloved by everybody. You can't go
Comedy
wrong.
Central, let me just be honest with you. You guys haven't made a good decision in about 5 years. The best decision you can make is have RWJ, the real LBJ, the People's Bane, host the Daily Show.
Give me your show.
Yeah, give me your show.
I don't know, bro. I'm just happy to still have a job, man. I'll be honest. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, the people like you. Okay, let me just keep being funny, and then the rest of this shit will take care of
But
itself.
did you ever meet a person who didn't like you?
Seriously.
I swear to fucking Christ. I've known you like forever, right?
Fuck,
I
that's a good
swear to Christ,
question.
I've known you forever. I have never, ever, and I mean this, man. You have the most pristine, best reputation out of anyone I've ever
Seriously.
met, especially as a comic, as a person, but as a comic. I've never heard. Look, we all are rooting for each other. We're all friends with it. But sometimes you hear people talk about people. They complain about this, that, give opinions. I'm telling you right now, I have never heard an ill word about you, about your comedy, about your character, about your person from any person across anywhere ever as a comedian ever.
Outside of women that I've dated in relationships that I've completely crashed that I shouldn't have.
Right.
I've tried.
Yeah, but
to
as
be
we
a
say on
decent
Hey Babe,
person.
fuck them hoes.
He said
Now
it.
this guy's a different story.
No, but professionally, I've heard some like even the stuff that people talk shit about me on. It's so whatever. Like, I know that there are some comics in New York City who did not like my second hour special because they did not like my outfit.
Yes.
What's that? The hat? That was the one with the hat and the kick
No.
and the like
Who
the
didn't like
bomber
your
jacket?
outfit?
It's the second one. It's the second one
In Atlanta.
I wore white jogging pants.
Oh yeah.
And apparently you're
Yeah.
not supposed to wear white jogging pants with a white shirt.
Who
and
said-
a
who
white
said that,
umbrella.
Mateo?
Yeah, I don't know. There's some young comics who are all into their sneaker shit or whatever. So
Jesus.
if that's your beef with me, fine. And then there was a time where some snitch bitch in LA. There was a snitch bitch in Los Angeles.
And if you're watching, and we know that you are, go ahead.
This snitch bitch hears me do a bit that the verbiage, there was the same word that came up in both bits.
Okay.
Both bits are completely different.
Yeah.
But there was the same word in both bits. And shout out to the homie Tone Bell. And so
Love tone.
they text Tone while I'm on stage, Roy Virginia's doing your bit.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you had a word in your first special in a bit that you did, and they were like, oh, they're kind of similar.
No,
Okay.
no. It was just this comic heard the word, and instead of coming to me after the show like a fucking adult and going, hey, man, I don't know if you meant to do it like this, but just so you know, Tone Bell has a bit that da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's all you have to do. That's the professional way to make a comedian aware that there's something, that they're flying close to somebody else's
Sure.
ass.
And the word? The.
Yeah, it's always something. So this snitch bitch text Tone Bell on some fuckery. Hey, man, Roy's stealing your material. Now, thank God Tone Bell and I know each other. Thank God Tone Bell and I have rapport.
Yeah.
And Tone texts me and goes, what's the bit? I send him the audio because I record most of the fucking new jokes. And we go, it's nothing about it. Like, it's nothing.
And even he acknowledged that. Tone Bell was
He
like,
acknowledged that it was nothing. Text the snitch bitch back to let them know, stand down. He's not a snitch bitch. But to this day, Tone Bell won't tell me who it was. Won't tell me who it was.
Oh, but they know.
wow.
It's been 10 years, and you see my emotion. It's probably best I don't know.
Yeah. Sal,
Yeah.
tell him.
I can tell you.
It was us.
And I'm sure I've seen this person. I'm sure I've seen this person since that time.
Oh, they look
And
you
They
in the
acted
freaking
very
face.
friendly to
Yeah.
you.
But hopefully they learned a lesson, and hopefully they're a decent person now, and it's fine.
It's a comic.
I get for sure a comic, but I know
Yeah.
Tone didn't want to throw that person to the wolves
Yeah.
because maybe they were new and didn't
Yeah.
know the game.
Right.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, yo,
That gets under your skin,
That-
man.
but
I
that-
know.
but-
So that is the only time. That's the only person though ever in comedy that I swear to God I've never heard one person even say even that to Roy, even accuse him of anything.
No way, dude.
It literally.
No way.
I can't see. I'm trying to think of who is more liked in the comedy community than you.
Dude,
I don't know.
I mean, I love you. You're like one of my close friends. I don't always mean
George
to just
Wallace.
give you a hand job.
George
but
Wallace is the only other one.
I don't always mean to give you a hand job, but it happens. The truth is the truth, dude. Like there's no one really better than you, dude.
If you're gonna get a hand job from someone, though, Sal's the guy.
Yeah,
Very
and the
soft
guy.
hands
They've
for a
been doing it for
man.
years.
For like a guy who's in like a straight man.
I moisturize.
Softest hands in the straight male community, Sal Vulcano. And by the way, I think the guy who said snitch bitch, I think Venetia may work for him.
I try to be kind to everybody.
Wow.
Probably.
Ooh. Dish bish.
Yes.
Yeah. I try to be kind.
Can
to
I ask you a
everybody.
question?
Yeah.
Did you ever think to add, like, to get someone to ask? Because I could not even mention it. I could try to find out who it was.
I almost set up a sting operation. Because the room that I did the joke in was one of those bizarro LA house gigs.
Okay.
Backyard with a fucking peacock or a pet raccoon. You know,
Yeah.
LA has a club scene, and then there's the weird alti rooftop weird shit. So the comics that frequent the weird shit rooms, for the most part, it's a lot of the same guys.
Yeah.
Right.
So my thought was to just go on stage, take stock of every comic in the room,
Yeah.
do the bit again, and then wait for the text from Tone Bell. And then at least I know
Yes.
who the 8 people are.
Right.
And then the next show, when one of those 8 or 9 comics is there, do a Tone Bell bit verbatim.
Oh.
Right.
And just process of eliminate that shit all the way down. But the plan wasn't completely foolproof. And I have to like let go of shit like that because especially when you get into like comedy beefs, other comedians, they fan the flames.
Right.
And it's really fucked up. There was a guy who accused me of stealing a bit, and this has only happened twice. It is the Tone Bell thing, but this was the only time in 25 years where I was openly challenged by another comedian.
Okay.
And so he goes on Facebook, he says what he's got to say. I assess both bits, and both bits to me, it's a little bit more parallel thought. If anything, the joke premise was more lazy, and we started from the same place and dovetailed into different places.
Okay.
We started at the same premise. You have a joke there, and then from there I went here, and you went over here. But because we both started here, I've somehow stolen all of this too.
Right.
Got it.
Even though that's not the truth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like when my girl says, "Oh, if you lied about that, what else are you lying about?" It's like, I'm
Ding,
only
ding,
lying
ding.
about that.
ding, ding, ding.
Anything else you think I'm lying about? We're both just thinking of it. It's parallel
It's
thinking.
parallel
What is
thinking.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. So he throws that up on Facebook, and this is the middle of the pandemic, bro. And it's everybody's bored. So you
Yeah,
know they
the internet is
loving,
lit. Yeah.
They're fanning the flames. And before I can even put together a reply, I'm just going through the comments, just reading to see who's saying what. And a lot of it was comedians that I knew who know me and know my pedigree and know how hard I work at writing. And they didn't even give me the decency of a fucking heads up to go, hey, bro, just so you know, this is being said about you online.
Right.
They're in there fucking kikiing and laughing with these motherfuckers who know nothing about comedy. You're in there in the fucking comments laughing with other motherfuckers who are not comics and don't know the code and don't know the concept of parallel thought. Like, how dare you?
Right.
How
Yeah.
fucking dare you
Right.
run with me and be cool with me?
Yeah.
And then not even, I ain't saying defend me. Maybe I did steal the shit. But at least have I not earned the courtesy? Motherfucker, I put money in your pocket.
Right.
I'm not talking about some comics I just kick
Yeah.
it with now
Right.
and then.
Right.
I broke bread with you.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I reply publicly, which I shouldn't have done
Yeah.
because there's a different power dynamic in it. It got out of hand, and me and the comic got on the phone, and we had a fucking amazing conversation,
Oh.
and it was love. Deleted both of our posts, posted our call to
Dope.
show that, like, you know, blood, crip,
Right.
truce,
Yeah.
worked together, did his podcast. A couple months later, we talked about it more on the podcast and all of that shit.
Birth
But
control.
to the street, but to the streets, all they'll remember is the first
Sure.
post.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
it.
That's it. And so me going back and forth with him publicly only invited more idiots into the fray.
Yeah.
Because people who are not comedians, when it comes to beef, it's rap shit where you're just going to choose your person.
Right.
And so no matter what, to those people, because I crossed their guy,
Right.
it's fuck me for life.
Right, for life. It's such bullshit. It's so stupid.
And I'm fine with that because I can be funny, and being funny forgives all sins, whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But the comedians that were in those comments, I've not forgotten that. That shit hurt. It was fucking betrayal. And it was a level of just breaking violation of the code that I just don't fucking vibe with. And I like...
You end up distancing yourself from them without them even knowing it? Or like...
Yeah, but I mean, but you know me, bro. I'm kind of a loner anyway. Like, I don't have a crew.
Right.
Like, I
That's
know
interesting
everybody.
you say that. Because you seem like a guy, you're always alone, but you're not lonely.
Yeah. But that's why I just get to dip whenever I fucking
Yeah.
Now, the downside to that, though, is that creatively, I think sometimes I don't have the same advantages that the comics have because I don't have people that know me like a right hand to write and create with. And do stuff with.
Right.
So that part of it is kind of like, I wish I'd have.
Would you welcome that, though? Because you're always you're always there with a pen and you're always doing it.
You're always writing new stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you got to remember, though, the first 9 years of stand-up, I was a road comic in the South.
Right.
So you don't have cliques. You're just with whoever the fuck you got assigned to work with this week.
Right.
And then next week it's the next. So you're not doing 8 open mics over the weekend with your buddies and growing together and getting a slice in between gigs. It's just me and a 50-year-old alcoholic. I'm like 20.
Right.
Staying out of La Quinta. Yeah.
Fucking watching the kids of a headliner who's in the middle of a custody battle.
Yeah.
Right.
Babysitting 8-year-olds.
So you started the road when you were
Future
still
Chrissy
living,
D.
when you were still doing out of college?
I was in college. I was
So you were still in
Florida.
Alabama?
I was in Tallahassee at the time, but
Okay.
That's the state
Birmingham was
capital.
still my home club because they had open mic more frequently than Tallahassee. But the idea of having a comedy community as a road comic, it's just different. So it's harder to have those people. So you just become kind of a nomad. So by the time I got to LA, I just had my social habits were nomadic. Like I can kick it with anybody. I've worked with everybody in from every demographic, so I can hang anywhere, which is dope. Like the thing that I really respect about New York comics, I think the thing that I appreciate the most is that the comedians who don't necessarily agree with my politics or the Daily Show's politics still fuck with me as a stand-up.
Right.
And I think that's the thing that I kind of really like. I don't know. I think it's dope. And I have a lot of respect for those comics as well because I know that they don't rock with everything politically that the show does.
Sure.
And that's fine. But it's just something about the comedy club that's just... It's fucking Switzerland.
I find that to be true too. It's like, but I think like that the public doesn't know that comics are like that. Like,
Well, I
you know
think
what
it's
I mean?
growing up in New York. It's being a comedian, number one. That's like a brotherhood and sisterhood, and babyhood. And I think that growing up in New York, it's very difficult. It's very difficult to be like hateful in New York or hate one thing because we're so in such close proximity to each other that it's like, if you want to be racist, go ahead, or sexist, go ahead. But it's exhausting because the people you hate, you're going to see on the train the next stop. You can't separate yourself from that. So you just start to learn to become like, well, I gotta vibe with everything then kind of thing.
Jokes
you know?
too. It's like, well, it's just, are you funny?
Yeah.
Are you funny? I mean, that's what it is. If you're funny, you get the respect.
Oh yeah, like whoever opposes, opposite politics stuff. Exactly, funny first always. I think the younger comics are starting to make politics their identity, and that's the worst thing you could ever do in comedy is make politics your identity.
But I don't even try to correct young comics when I see them doing that. I feel like the industry will correct them.
Yeah.
Because when you look at if you look at television, scripted television, in my opinion, is a reflection of the beliefs of a country a year or two ago, right? Whereas, like, if you look at a lot of the shows that are baked in with, I'm saying something specifically about an issue, and this show is about the issue. All right, cool. You got a good 3-year run after George Floyd. We gave you a couple seasons, and now you're starting to see a lot of pushback from networks where they're going, kind of want a happy show. I don't want a show. So as that tide turns and the shows become less preachy, then I think the expectations that people come to a comedy club, they go, I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just not going to laugh at it. I'm going to just sit quiet. And the game is still judged on laughs.
Right.
Fuck a clap. Fuck being right. That's cool, but the game
Yeah.
is. Teray said this shit. Shout out to Teray down in Philly. He said, "Clever is cool, funny is best." So this idea that you can just run with your politics and go, they're wrong, I'm right. All right, that's cool, but sooner or later you got to have a joke. And what you're doing is working out because we're still in that moment. But 3 to 5 years from now,
Yeah.
You can't
Doesn't
limit
age.
your
It's a
audience. You
joke.
got to give, even if you're doing political, you have to toe the line. You got to give a little. You got to be able to mock yourself.
Yeah,
too,
why
because
would you alienate a portion of your fan base? That's so
Do you
silly.
feel that Daily Show, as much as it probably was a boon for you and your career and everything, do you ever see any, because it's related to like a certain type of politics? Did you see it like any negativity from it, or any way that it might have hindered you?
I think the issue that I run into now is that fans of The Daily Show who come to see me live find me to be a little more centrist
Sure.
than I am on the show
Sure.
on certain issues. And that, matter of fact, I'm going to show you a tweet that's saved in my drafts
Yes. Love a
that
draft.
I started to reply to.
Nice. But you learned from the other lesson.
I
Never
learned.
reply publicly.
Also, this person,
The Stan talked shit to me publicly last week. I said nothing, but I did book an appearance on Legion of Skanks, so you're going to want to be there because I'm going to rip the Stand a new fucking asshole, but in
what?
person.
Wait, the stand?
Basically, I went on Legion. I got
just did it for the first time in like 2 years.
Yeah.
fun.
Legion of I was going to say that I was going to do it. They said, oh, who do you want on Legion of Skanks? And some of the fans were like, oh, me, right? So I replied, all right, give me a date, whatever. And then the Stan said, what's the point? You're just going to cancel, LOL. And then that created like a whole bunch of things, whatever. A whole bunch of things. Yeah.
They said LOL though.
They did say LOL. But then it's just going to go and I'm just going to,
They were just giving you a little.
Yeah. So then, but you say nothing. I had a whole thing written out. Same. I had the
They
draft.
should be able to take it now.
That's what
They
it
should
is.
be able to take it.
Well, let's see. We'll see.
When are you going on?
I think March.
I'll tune in.
Tune in.
All right.
I'm wearing these glasses, so there it is. But I want to read Roy's draft tweet. Here we go.
Okay.
Now, that is the tweet that was sent to me from someone who came to the first show in San Francisco and was not happy with the joke.
Okay. So this is the tweet. Somebody tweeted Roy Wood, at Roy Wood Jr., your joke about Ukraine tonight, ... My Ukrainian friend came to your SF show, and the joke was upsetting. I don't blame your point, but the idea Ukraine should have less aid because we have problems here is difficult for those who have lost friends. Roy began to write back, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
And this is between shows. Now, this is why you shouldn't check your phone between shows.
Oh, shit, no way.
And I was like, But what that tweet tells me is that
Even the tweet, right there, I'm like, they're wrong.
but I'm doing
It's
something that's touching a nerve, and that's good.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what comedy should do.
Sure.
So trying to go back and forth with the person, I'm never going to get them to understand what I was trying to say because you lost people in Ukraine. And also you ignored the whole backside of the bit.
Yeah.
I used the thesis of the joke was just the idea that we send money for foreign aid for any war, not just Ukraine. We send money for any war. And if you're from an impoverished community that's been down bad, like I am, when you see other people getting foreign aid, it's like when you're in a restaurant and someone comes after you and they get their food first.
Great.
That's the joke.
Great point. Great joke.
So it's not, and I literally say, in the bit, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
I need to talk to the waiter.
Right.
So it's about a
That's
conversation between Black
great.
America and the government. That's
Sure.
all.
Which is great.
But that's not what I would normally get to say on The Daily Show.
Got it.
Would normally figure out how the nuance of it. It would be more nuanced on The Daily Show. But on stage, it's just, man.
Yeah.
But all you heard was the thing that made
Right.
you feel the thing.
Well, I think.
And I have to respect that.
Right.
Yeah.
But you have to be okay with getting tweets like this. Also, you can't reply to every.
No, you
Right.
can't. And I think what's happening too is now because people throughout the last few years have been, kind of getting ahead with, like, they feel like being angry is almost like a currency. Like if I'm angry, if I stand up for this and that, then they feel like something subconscious, like, oh, I'll tweet that. That will help me get followers. That will help me because I'm tweeting and saying something, and usually it blows up in their face. But I think what's happening now is, look, I've been doing comedy, 12 years? Nobody's ever walked out of my show. And I say, on the line stuff. Last week at my show, people walked out, a group of people walked out for the first time ever in my career because they said I was transphobic. But I think that they just hear the word. I have, TT Jerry in my family
It's just
is trans.
red flag. It's just to hear a word.
All
it's a reaction.
all I said was TT Jerry is trans, was in prison for 20 years. And I said, I don't care if trans, gay, straight, you're in prison for 20 years. I feel like you're a survivor and I want you around me. I said, the safest I feel all day is when I'm laying on Jerry's tits. And they got a good laugh. And then the lady
I don't even get where the trans
slammed the table. And then got up and walked out. And I finished my set, didn't even acknowledge them. And then when I was about to leave, and the manager of the club was like, don't leave yet. They're angry. They're like waiting for you, angry. So let us just get them out of here. And then I was like, okay. So got them out of there. And they were
out there.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to.
Live
I wanted to be like,
tweeting.
where are you, no, I literally, I was like, that's what I said. I said, that's not even transphobic what I said. I'm talking about a trans member of my family who lives with me, who I've taken in, who I love, and doing bits about how much love we have. And they heard the word transgender, heard a non-trans person say anything about them and they get triggered and they're not even thinking. It's like just reaction. Everybody's reactive now.
Yeah, and it's like, but also within the tweet, the person literally says, I don't blame your point, period. So right there, you understood what I was trying to say. So I have to concede that everything else that I said might have ticked you off because I'm flying close to your son.
Right.
And that's just the game. I think as a comic, we can't police people's reactions. And I think that's where comics are starting to get into, well, why are you, it's just, hey, you like the joke? I don't know what to tell you.
It's actually better that not everybody likes us because that means we're not hacks. That means that at least we're saying something. If your joke's going to piss someone off, that means it's not general as fuck and not everyone's going to like it. If you're getting away, then you're just a road feature that's doing the same set for 50 years and you're going to drop dead of a heart attack one day in a La Quinta. We don't want that to happen. So we're like,
fuck the specificity.
Yeah,
because you're right.
That's just what's going to happen, dude. You're going to drop dead one day at the Columbus Funny Bone because you're doing the same bullshit. You've made our career that's supposed to be not a day job because you're doing the same, and you think that these jokes that are getting laughs are safe and good, and that's being a comic's not about being safe. You gotta say, I go up there on stage and talk about how I think there's too many Ukrainian flags in the West Village. Like, this is the fucking America. I'm like, all I see is Ukrainian flags and rainbow flags. I feel like I'm in the gay part of Kiev, and people get upset.
Your ass whooped.
Yeah, but it's just I'm making a point because it's my point of view. I still like Ukraine, but I'm just like, hey, this is the U.S. I want to see as many U.S. flags.
I think there's a place for the comics who play it straight. Like, I think there's an audience for it. My issue is just when people are trying to reshape what you say or what you feel. But then as a comic, you cannot reply. You have to respect this person came to a show and they just didn't like one thing. And for all I know, they might have liked the whole other 58 minutes of the shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not even, and then if you reply to something publicly, then you're inviting everybody who did not come to the show and has no context to create a narrative. Right. And that's what you don't want. Yeah. I just cannot, I just don't want to exist in a world where I'm not trying to push the envelope, but it's just difficult because, with liberal audiences, sometimes what I find is that the reprimand is about the feelings.
Right.
Let's go it's hate mail, right? Let's talk hate mail, where just straight up, I'll do a Daily Show segment and it could be, I'll give you one I just did. Cop City. We went down to Atlanta. They're building a new police training facility at an elevation that's going to fuck up the environment down in the black neighborhoods downstream. And it's like, ecologically, it is a disaster. Fiscally, you could spend money on other things, whatever, right? So you have the pro-cop people who are just going to go, you're bringing race into this, and why you're bringing race, and the police, and we love the police. And that's usually a 2 to 3 sentence email. You're a race baiter. Goodbye. Right. Okay, fine. When I get an email from somebody that's, quote, on my side, it's 8 paragraphs about how you didn't do enough, and then you need to do this, and then you need to do this, and the story didn't talk about this. And I'm like, I have fucking 4 minutes.
Right.
I have 4 minutes to do something, and I'm sure we all want more, but also I have to have jokes.
Yeah,
I'm not
man,
Vice News.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't
Right.
just stew in the sadness of this shit the
Right,
whole time.
right.
And that's the challenge, is trying to make jokes about shit that a lot of people ain't laughing about. So when you try to make it funny, I get chastised for not doing enough. Or you make fun of them. You're
Yeah.
making fun of them.
Right.
Do you not understand satire?
Yeah.
To be able to
Well,
present
that's
to-
why, like, for me, I've made a choice, just like a life choice, and it's helped me to not respond or get affected in any way, shape, or form by people who I don't know who have opinions about me. If I don't know you personally, if you're not my family or friend, or if we're not in the room together, even if I had just met you, I don't let your opinion of me influence me positively or negatively. I don't care if you think I'm the man. I don't care if you think I suck. I give you zero time, because I used to get constantly sucked in. And then, you know what a big thing is too? The people who do that, who do get sucked in by it all day, every day, they probably don't have kids. They probably don't have a family. I realize, like, I got 3 kids. I can't do that. I could spend all day doing that. So if you tweeted me or Sal tweeted me or a friend, then I would take it to heart and be like, okay, let me give you some of my time. What's going on here? Because we know each other. But if I don't know you, I'm like, dude, say whatever you want about. I don't care at all. It doesn't affect me.
The only thing that bothers me, where I'll like,
Yeah.
YouTube.
Oh yeah.
I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But YouTube comments, they are generally well thought out, well measured, and a very fair analysis of me as a performer. I'm like, ooh, this motherfucker.
Yeah, because you know what it is because you know what it is on YouTube. I think it's like, a tweet or whatever, Instagram post, like a little minute. It's like, oh, it's just my words. But YouTube is like, you watch me for 25 minutes, my whole being, and you were like, that's not for me. That hurts. We're like, I'll take every part of you. Get out of here.
What do you think about upload? Because I'm gonna do a special in August, and I think I'm going YouTube. I think I'm gonna do it myself and go YouTube.
It's the future.
But
it is.
But it's the only platform where you could put it up and then get comments right underneath it about it, for better, for worse, good, whatever. Like the dialogue. But like you put it up on any other thing, you know what your views are. You know how many views you get, but you don't know. You're not. There's not a.
People are not commenting on it live.
No one, I mean, if you check that out on Netflix, I liked it. I didn't like it, but like putting it up there, and it's like, all right, there's gonna be 2,000 opinions on it right underneath it.
Down
and
to
does
the
that
second.
influence people's opinions, even if they don't only watch a piece of it, they don't watch it or whatever it is? And so it's like that's an element that I think is a game changer on YouTube that is on no other platform. I wonder if that's for better or worse.
Not only that, Sal, not only the comments, and that's fine. That's for us, and we cannot choose not to look at that. But the other part that people don't talk about is based off those comments and the algorithm in YouTube. If people don't like your stuff and report it to YouTube, it affects the views negatively.
Right.
Where that can't happen. In you could yell, "I hate this guy" all you want at Netflix. I'm still going to pop up on your queue.
So let me ask you a
know what I
question:
mean?
if you have the ability to disable comments, to just say take this for what it is, I want it to play just like it is on Netflix. Do you get shit on for disabling comments?
I would imagine, because you've opened it up to the public now. Yeah, so when you do a special on Netflix, HBO, it's not open to the public. I mean, it's open to the public, but it's kind of still like not everyone can say anything. No one's going to say anything to you about it. I think YouTube, the only thing I'll say about putting specials on YouTube, and it was a thing, it was huge during the pandemic and still, big, but again, it's an oversaturation where it's like everybody does that now. And that's another thing that happens when you open things to the public. It just will kind of make the arts are not for everybody.
Bias.
Well, the thing is too, the haters can, like you just said, haters can affect you without even watching your shit.
Exactly.
Right? There's people that love my show. There's people that don't like my show for whatever reason. They see that, they go on, they're like, oh, he sucks, this sucks, he sucks. They don't watch it. They just don't like me already. They have a preconceived notion.
Yeah.
And like, it's kind of like, why do you want to open yourself up to that? So that's my only hesitation.
That doesn't bother me as much. It's just a matter of just not looking at it. Which sounds crazy to say, but it's not. Like the only critiques I truly respect and I truly take to heart is email, because my email address is not public. So if you found it, you worked for it. Like you really dug around and you found my personal email address to say what you have to say to me, I will reply.
Respect
and
it.
9 times out of 10, when someone is saying something to me over email, it's usually something that is and it's a fair counter argument, point, analysis, whatever, which helps me become more well-rounded and make the bit. But like even this Ukraine tweet helps me. Okay, how can I reword that in a way that still says what I want to say? But is there a way? Okay, all right. I at least I considered it, and now back to my regular shit. So I can at least say I tried. Right. What made me bulletproof for the most part was Last Comic Standing.
Right.
Bro, 2010, Last Comic Standing, that was the early days of live tweeting.
Mm-hmm.
And like the idea of being able to talk in real time to a performer or an actor or whatever. So NBC contractually made us engage with the hashtag LCS.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So for the, like we would tape the show at 5, it airs at 8. So at 8 o'clock, you had to be in front of a computer and you just had to just retweet anything you wanted or reply to anything. But you had to actively, they had hall monitors watching the hashtag.
Right.
So for a fucking hour, you're just reading the worst shit about you.
Yeah.
Mixed in with nice shit.
Right.
But you have to read it all. Every week for 10 fucking, I made it to the finals. So every fucking week and Monday for an hour, I read the worst shit. You get a 2-hour break. Then the West Coast feed goes up. So you got to fucking do it again for the West Coast. And just, I don't know, what I learned is that most people just have all the same shit to say. The critiques aren't thought out.
Yeah.
They're just yelling because they get a chance to yell. It's writing on the bathroom wall.
Yeah, well, any type of anonymous, any type of thing where you can remain anonymous, I think it brings out the negative part of the human brain where these people who tweet negatively at you, at all of us, probably don't even feel that way about us in reality, but that's a different reality. There's two realities. There's social media and the metaverse, as they call it now, and then our reality, this reality. So I find that staying in this reality is better. You know, we had Louis C.K. on the Chrissy Chaos podcast 2 weeks ago, and he said after all that stuff that he went through, everything that he went through with his, problems, and it was all on the internet mostly. In real life, almost nobody said anything to him ever. It almost like it didn't exist in one reality, only existed in the other. And a lot of times we take that other reality and bring it into this, but if you just abstain from that and leave that reality where it's at, then it doesn't affect you.
Yeah, it's not
it just
real.
doesn't affect you. If you really, we're in trouble, then the law, in this reality, then the law affects you. Then you get in trouble, fine. But that reality and those people, I'm telling you, those people who say negative things to you probably come to your shows. It's almost positive they do because and also I think what happens is
you ever answer you ever just say, oh, fuck it, I'll respond. And then the person who said some shit about you was like, yo, big fan, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to, it's like, what
well,
the
here's
hell?
another thing that happens too. It's like like when you are at Madison Square Garden watching the Knicks and somebody behind you is saying that a player on either team sucks, and you want to turn around and be like, the worst player on that team, if they had stage 4 cancer in a wheelchair, would beat you in a one-on-one because they're in the NBA and you're a fat dickhead sitting in section 305. Same thing happens with comedy. We put our product out there. We have so many fans that we appreciate, but then they start to think they're as funny as you. They put in the work, so they start saying things just to be funny, but they realize you're not. Even if you say that you think I'm so unfunny, I'm still funnier than you could ever be in your entire life. Because I've gone to a level that we all have that. It's like, so when people talk shit,
That's the thing about comedy,
I think about that.
That's the thing about comedy, though, is like, it's just like the same exact thing. So people think, well, I've made someone laugh in my life, so
great.
I can tell you that,
I know
can judge
humor.
you.
I was funny that time.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
And they have no idea what it takes to do what we do.
They have no idea.
And they just think that they could be like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. You know
Yeah,
what
so
I mean?
you'll watch my special and be like, I don't like this joke, I don't like that joke. It's like, try standing up in front of strangers and saying anything even remotely interesting. You can't.
Right.
You would literally be. I mean, you're wearing Dockers. I'm creating someone.
Now,
Creating someone in my head.
The real high octane.
Yeah.
No, I see
Comment, please.
Dockers, non-wrinkle with a pleat. I see it.
Can't be funny.
I see that person.
The real high octane comments. If you really want to fucking flaming hot Cheeto.
Yeah.
Your self-esteem.
Yeah. There you
Reddit,
go.
baby.
Reddit.
Reddit.
I don't like it.
Reddit.
Yeah.
And
don't
wait for
like
this one. Ticketmaster.
Whoa! I didn't even think of Ticketmaster.
Because they paid money.
yeah.
So they earned the right to comment because they
Which
bought
I respect.
a ticket.
You paid for
Yeah.
it? I respect that. I fucking the head coach of the Utah Jazz. Remember the heavy guy with the glasses back in the day, Frank something. He was like in the 80s.
Oh,
Sinatra.
Sloan? Before Sloan? Before
Before
Jerry
Sloan, there was like I forgot what his name was, but he said there was like this NBA video on VHS I used to watch, and somebody was heckling him, and he turned around and he said, "Did you pay for those seats, or did you get those from a corporation?" He goes, "I paid." The guy says, "I paid for them." He goes, "And you could keep heckling me. I'm not hearing it from the freebies, but if you paid, that's your right." And I was like, "Oh shit!" He said, and he let the guy fucking rip him a new asshole because he paid his money. So I respect Ticketmaster shitting on you.
Any venue that you all have done that where Ticketmaster handled the tickets,
I've gone on there.
You can go back and read the shit.
I've gone on there.
I respect that.
It's intense, bro.
A lot of what I see on those, though, for the most part, knock on wood, is like not performance based. It's more like, like the fucking we couldn't hear. They complain about like this situation and stuff.
It's shorter too. Ticketmaster comments are not YouTube length. It's like 3 sentences and a star rating. They get in and out. But Reddit, those motherfuckers have like
it's a forum, bro.
Reply.
It's a forum. Yeah. They have a conversation that's years long on there. It's crazy.
You go back, they still talking shit about you from 3 years ago.
Rocket Money canceling all your subscriptions. Rocket Money, baby, formerly known as Truebill.
Yes.
Okay. Rocket Money. It's a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. This is the type of canceling you want to do. If you're going to get canceled by Rocket Money.
This is it. Try it free for 30 days. There's enough time to try and completely forget about a subscription or service. I do it all the time.
You did it.
I say it. I use it.
Yeah.
It worked for me. I saved about $270.
Rocket Money.
Yes.
Rocket Money is good, so stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/heybabe. That's rocketmoney.com/heybabe. rocketmoney.com/heybabe. You're going to love it. Over 3 million people have used Rocket Money, saved them $720 a year, Sal.
Yes, 80% of the people that have subscriptions, they forget about. 80%.
Why are you hitting me?
8 out of 10 people. Because I'm so excited. I'm punching
what it
you.
is.
If you guys are listening to this, I'm punching Chris right now.
I love it.
Yeah.
Rocket Money, baby.
Quickly and easily identify your subscriptions and change your life.
I love it. The Rocket Man. All right. Here we go.
Hello, freshness, my old friend.
America's #1 meal kit. Love Hello
Sending fresh ingredients for me. I cook it in 20 minutes or so.
So I eat all the meals with my family.
And it's healthy and the options are way beyond.
Fast and fresh recipes. Hello Fresh, taste and quality.
Hello Fresh, you get farm fresh pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes.
Yes.
Delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on Hello Fresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit.
Yes, I love it. You're going to find quality ingredients and HelloFresh's recipes. In fact, the ingredients travel from the farm to your home in less than 7 days. So you know they fresh.
Remember those New Year's goals you promised yourself you'd stick to?
Yep.
HelloFresh is here to help you eat better by delivering fresh ingredients and easy recipes, taking the hassle out of dinner time.
That's it, baby. And if you're looking for an easy way to eat well and save money, cut back on expensive takeout and delivery, and get started with HelloFresh. You'll love how fast, easy, and affordable it is to whip up a restaurant quality meat right in your own kitchen. That's what they say about Sal and I. We're fast, easy, and affordable.
That's right.
Go to HelloFresh.com/HeyBabe65 and use the code HeyBabe65 for 65% off plus free shipping. Sal, tell me how this company makes money.
I don't know. It's a
They
crazy
give all the
business.
food away for free.
Last time I was at your house, you had 2 brown bags of HelloFresh right on the table. I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
You practice what you preach.
I have so much HelloFresh in my house. I mean, for my birthday, I'm popping out of HelloFresh boxes for people's birthdays left and right.
That's what it is.
It's amazing. HelloFresh.com/HeyBabe65. Use the code HeyBabe65. 65% off plus free shipping. HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. I think too, I now like I think sometimes too with society, like things are, I understand there's problems, I get it, but things are so good in life. Like we have so many things that are just so, we have the best health care, we have the food, we have every basic need met, even if you're living in the slums of the slums in America, pretty much your primary basic needs are met. So what has to happen then is your brain has to create problems for survival. So then in an effort to survive, people have everything they want. They're like, I got to think of something to make me mad. It's like a motivating factor, and that's a lot of times what the internet is. These people are just like, well,
just an outlet, Frank.
It's just an outlet, and I don't even really hate my his or her comedy that much, but I got to say something type of thing, and that's how I look at it. I almost feel like if you're commenting. Like now, I feel like if you comment negative on something, you got to understand the type of pain that human being must be in. Because, dude, I've never commented negatively on anything in my life because I'm like, if it bothers me, I just move on because I'm happy.
Who's taking the time to sit?
You have to. You're dealing with an individual that's hurt, that's in pain.
And
so you got to
that's
take. Yeah.
And that's where, like, when you start getting into, like, the conversation around, like, mass shootings and shit, I'm like, okay, these are the motherfuckers that are taking the pain off the computer out into the real world.
Right.
Where, like, okay, I'm mad about some shit, and then I had the confirmation bias conversation and whatever echo chamber,
Right.
Reddit chat, 4chan, dark web shit that I frequent. And then I'm going out into the real world, and everybody's like, "Whoa, what the fuck is your problem, bro? Why are you
Right.
why are you out here barefoot with a fucking bazooka?"
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you could have calmed down. There was other places on the internet you could have gone and gotten some fucking help, man. That's the shit that I really like. When you look at mental health too, that I don't think anybody talks about. It's like this idea that check on your friends, right? It's
Right.
like, okay, absolutely, check on your friends, but they never tell us how.
Right.
Like, we've been just like, the healthcare industry is like deputized every regular person into you. Evaluate your friends for psychosis and make sure that they're, and if not, call, you see something, say something.
Yeah. Or go to BetterHelp.
Yeah, you go to betterhelp.com,
Yeah.
put in that promo code, hey babe, 10% off your first month.
Yeah, I just really wish that there was more of a conversation about the ways that we could talk to people and engage them. Because, like, whoever is the guy that's listening to echo chamber hate shit,
Right.
it's got the guns, there's a friend. There's at least
There's
one
somebody that
person.
could intervene. Yeah.
And just be like, hey, man, I ain't seen you in a couple days. What
Right.
the fuck is it?
Right.
But how to have that conversation in a way that's effective, I don't think we've ever talked
Well, I mean,
about
look,
as a society.
a couple of weeks ago with the Super Bowl, all the commercials, 50% of them were medicine. Was just like medicine ads and pills to take. When it's like a lot of the times, man, it's like you don't need all that. Like, you don't, like my daughter, right? Take a pediatrician. We just met you. Like, oh, she's a little hyper in school. The teacher said she's a little hyper in school. So right away, doctor, condition, meds. And I said, no, I wanted to get from you. Is there a website? Is there a game that is there a way, like, because no, I'm not
Fidget toys.
Not giving her meds. What are you talking about? Like, she's 7.
Right.
But that's what these doctors are conditioned to think. And the byproduct of a lot of that, a lot of those side effects, a lot of those medicines people are on, man, it gets isolating. And then, the internet, I'm telling you, I think that the internet in 50 years will be looked at, or social media specifically will be looked at the way people look at cigarettes, where it's like, hey, remember when there used to be messages about it? Because now, already now, it's starting to happen. Neil Brennan sent me a New York Times article about there's a girl out there now who's 16 years old who's trying to, kind of be the champion of people to say, if you're my age, 16, get off your cell phone, get social media detox, get out of it, get off YouTube, get off, because they're seeing what it did to their parents who are like my age, 38, 40, and they're seeing like there's a lot of problems with it. So I think that we're living in a time where I don't know what it's going to become, but I know that I could see it myself. I told you I got off the internet August 26th. It's only February. I lost 30 pounds. Everything in my life changed. My whole outlook on life changed. Relationships improved. Everything, because I got all that negativity just out of my head. Yeah. And now Venetia deals with it. And Venetia has gained 100 pounds and is suicidal. Right. But it's about pushing me forward. Yeah, that's what happened.
Do you feel like there's anything you touch whatever you want? You touch whatever you want.
I'll touch everything.
Yeah,
just not women without their consent.
I have a thing where, like, a part of my fan base, I'm educating, trying to get new fans that don't know that I'm a stand-up, but then a lot of my fan base feel like they know me, very familiar, especially with my show. And so sometimes they'll come and, like, if I deviate from what they expect from me,
right,
I see it, hear it, feel it right away.
Right.
So it's like, if I want to talk about it, and I'll still talk about it anyway, but it's like I see it tighten up right away. And I'm just like, does it pay for me to invest time in this type of material where I'm going against this grain, or should I just kind of ride the wave? You know what I mean?
I think ultimately, if we listen to the audience, then we become the audience. So I just think you do whatever that if they hate, let them hate.
How do you order your act, like the batting order of your act, in terms of what you want to do versus what they want to hear?
I mean, right now it's mostly like, if I'm a storyteller, it's more observation, a little more evergreen for me. Like, it's more like that. But like, then if I get an idea, a premise I like or whatever, I'll still write. I'll still throw it in there. I'll just look for the right spot to throw it in. But I'm primarily kind of storytelling and more like, but like, I'll do something like stupid, like like I'll be coming off like some like nothing edgy, and then I'll just be like, let me change the mood, the death penalty, or something like that, and then everyone like gets shocked, but then they tighten, right?
Yeah.
Because they're like we're gonna listen to him talk about the death penalty now.
You know what it is? Part of it is that Impractical Jokers as a brand is escapist humor in the sense that that show gives people a moment to breathe away from all of the things.
And that's what we love about it. We lean into that. I love that.
But then I show up to see you,
right?
And then you lean into one of the things. I'm like,
yeah.
But then I don't, right? So then they think I'm gonna, but I don't. But then it's like what you said. They just hear the words. Like I'll be like the death penalty. I was like I let's talk about it, right? So I said like something like I don't really have a problem with like it's not about like do we have the right to play God. Do we have the right to take a life? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I say I more have a problem with the last meal, right? So now they're like, it's
silly again. You got silly again.
Silly, but they're also like, what the fuck? And I'm like, we could agree that on paper, it's a murder. This is a murder that's about to happen on paper. Why are we catering? Right? So then whatever, they just still know where I'm going. You know what I mean? And it's like, and the fact that we get them anything they want, right, is a weird caveat. It makes us feel like we feel guilty. Right. Like we're about to put you down in front of these people for what you did, but we're not savages. So if you like a bite to nosh, whatever you want, we'll get it for you. You know what I mean?
But people just hear death penalty.
They just get tight still. Right. And I'm like, there were times at the dinner table, my mom was like, you're gonna fuck around like that, go upstairs. And I was like, I didn't get dinner just for horseplay at the table. This guy mows down a half a dozen people at a Santander bank. We owe him pumpkin ravioli. And like, but they still don't want that from me.
But here's the thing though. I think that you're better off leaning into what you want to be and evolving, because if you're not careful, then you fuck, I can't name his name, but I've opened for guys on the road that are in the prison of just being what the audience wants. Yeah. And now it's too late because
that's what
55.
Look at Bob Saget. He did Family Matters. People come. I'm sorry. Full House.
Full House.
And then
he was fucking dirty as shit.
Yeah. And then people would come and they're probably mortified, but he still had this whole stand-up career post Full House.
Bob Saget walked out one night. Opening joke. I knew back then the Olsen twins were gonna be hot.
Yeah.
Opening fucking not even good night, not even good evening. That's how crazy. You doing? Yeah. Oh, first words out his mouth. Yeah. This is fucking. I knew back then the Olsen twins were gonna be hot.
Dude,
what the fuck?
Bob Saget said on an interview once,
leveled it right there. You leveled everybody.
Bob Saget said on an interview, literally, it would be the 8 p.m. show on a Saturday. 50% of the room were little kids, families, thinking that it's Danny Tanner Full House, and he would come out and be like, "I want to fuck the Olsen twins." Yeah. And so I think
I try to address that too, because we got kids. Yeah, it's 16 plus, but these families come, they bring kids. I pull a little kid on stage immediately at the top, and I just
you're like, he's going to be hot one day,
right into his face. Exactly.
No, but I think Roy's 100% right. I think anything in life, forget about comedy, just obviously, like you've heard it a million times, just be whoever it is you want to be, because people are going to not like you anyway. No matter, you're not going to get through this life with everybody liking you. And if everybody likes you, you're a people pleaser. That's not good at all. You don't want that. You want to fundamentally be who you want to be, within reason, not hurting people or whatever. And then ultimately, I think that's the best, right? I mean, that's the then you'll feel good about yourself. I'm like, well, I'm unapologetically me, like Lizzo. Yeah, be the Lizzo. Be Lizzo. Go out there and be Lizzo. Everybody. Yeah. That's what I try to do every day.
Your inner Liddy.
Yes. I'm the Lizzo of comedy. Yeah, but I don't know, dude. With that being said, if you don't use Roy Wood as host of the Daily Show, then I'm gonna
there you go. You got it now.
There you go. Start a thread on Reddit about
unleash
that.
my inner incel. I don't know, dude. I feel like, but I will say, even like tides turn, right? Because like I remember there was a point in my life where I didn't like Bill Maher. I just was like, whatever. But now I love Bill Maher, because what Bill Maher has done, the thing that he did is for the past 20 plus years, he's always just been himself. He never wavered. If he would have tried to become, what I wanted him to become 10 years ago, I probably wouldn't like him now. But there was like, you can sense like a phonies, but he never did that. He was like, I don't give, and then all the people who disliked him, we've all come around now. and like him again because because the thing is it's got nothing to do with what side you vote for, right? Like I don't give a fuck about that. It's just this motherfucker believes in what he says and stands by what he says no matter how much flack he's getting. That's what I respect. People who don't change like that.
They have it. I think we all agree. Bill Maher should be the new host of the Daily Show then.
Okay, well,
100%.
CNN's got their claws in them now.
What's that?
Yeah, CNN's got their claws in them now.
CNN, oh, really?
They're running reruns of Bill Maher on CNN. CNN's trying to get into comedy space now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Dude,
Roseanne's got a special coming out on Fox News.
Yeah, Fox Nation.
Yeah. Like, what? This comedy special's coming out on Fox?
Yeah.
Like
the
Gutfeld comedy show. Yeah, dude.
Some of that shit they be seeing on Gutfeld be funny. I watch that shit.
It is.
I want to tell you straight up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't watch all the things. I've been watching all that shit. But
Yeah.
also, a lot of New York comics I know write on Gutfeld. So
Yes.
it's like, I want to see what the fuck my buddies
Also,
are
going on Gutfeld, Joe DeRosa went on a month or two ago, said for the only time he's been on television in a late night format where he's actually gotten followers and ticket sales from that was Gutfeld. Because so many, you got Gutfeld, when they say on Fox News, and this is not an ad for Fox News, but when they say Gutfeld is the #1 show in late night, that's a fact. They get more views than Jimmy Fallon, everybody.
Well,
they are
the
number
only
one.
game.
Huh?
He's the only
they don't
game.
have competition, so of course he can like.
Oh, right, because he's
flip
on a
right.
little later.
No,
Well, no,
I'm saying like
he's right-leaning.
Yeah, he's the only.
Oh, I
he's the
understand.
only
Yeah.
outlet.
Got it. Right.
But eyeballs is eyeballs and jokes is jokes.
Right.
And you don't have to go on there and be. He has people on there that are not right wing comics. I mean, Joe's not right wing.
Right.
Joe's in the middle, or to the left even.
So
Lefty
it's like
cuck.
this idea that. So this idea that comedy could only come from HBO or the late night network shows. So the idea of YouTube and all of that shit, or like Daily Wire is doing stand-up specials now.
Yeah.
Fox Nation. So it's like, be funny and find
Get in
a
where
place.
you fit in,
Right.
kind of thing. That same shit that you've heard get in where you fit in.
All this shit
Yeah.
is just, every channel, every streamer is just a conduit to convince strangers to see you live.
Yeah.
Correct.
All of this, Chris Rock said that everything I do is to just get people to buy tickets.
Tickets. That's how I feel. It's all to buy tickets. And Bill Cosby said, a good quote he had. Bill
Drink
Cosby.
this.
He said, I don't know the secret to success, but I know the secret to failure is trying to please everybody. And I remember reading that years ago, being like, that's some shit right there. Because if you're trying to please everybody, you're 1,000% going to fail because that's an impossibility. So when you have now, let's say in comedy, okay, if the networks don't fuck with you, but I mean, dude, look at some of the biggest comics in the world right now. They wouldn't Tim Dillon, they wouldn't get or Nate Bargatze. Nate Bargatze's not up there,
So many of
saying
these
things all the way
guys-
to the left. Not at all. He's in
So
the
many
middle,
of
maybe
these
to the right.
comics, man, their careers are the strategic improvisation forced by being rejected by the mainstream.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Andrew Schultz and what he's
Good
built,
example.
that whole fucking empire of what he's built over there.
Yeah.
Like that's because that was after hundreds of no's.
Oh yeah.
And then he fucking hit him with the Pedro Serrano Major League.
Yeah.
I say, fuck you, Joe Boo. I'll do it myself.
That's it, baby. Yeah.
Deep cut.
I quoted that last week.
I say, fuck you, Joe Boo. I do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those guys, man, they've shown that the idea that you can only do it one way, it's false.
Yeah.
It's false. And like once you get people out to see you live, then they'll discover. Because here's the thing, like if you went up and you were trying to tell Q and Merce stories for 20 minutes, then merge into your shit, then it's some halfway type shit where somebody new who's just curious about you goes, oh wow, there's a different side to him. I just thought he was.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't even mention a word about anything about that. That's what this is the whole point.
Right.
Perfect.
It's putting a space between it. Yeah.
Perfect. Because then
sure.
you get the new people that come out and see you.
Yeah.
And then they'll bring more people and more people.
Right.
Yeah, that's all it is. It really is like comedy is still an art form that's word of mouth and best consumed live in a smaller, intimate space. When you get, when Louis was on, he said, what the one thing he realized about doing arenas is you're not supposed to be doing that for too long, and you're not supposed to be up there. He was like, I was doing the TD Garden, the Boston Garden, saying, man, I should have just done 2 or 3 at the Wang because it was so much smaller. Because you just start to then you realize like, shit, I'm just doing this for the money now and the fame, and that's not what comedy is. Music is that way, consumed by 100,000 people, but comedy is there's an intimacy there that you needs to remain for as long as possible for it to be like a good, effective show. And I think they could smell the bullshit. That's why, like, when you have certain comics get to a certain level and the specials are, pyrotechnics and they got jets flying over, it's like you've lost that. You're supposed to be the everyday man. Comics, we're supposed to be like, hey, we're identifying with everybody kind of thing, It's not supposed to, like, people like, oh, rock star. Like, there was that Super Bowl commercial, oh, so-and-so's a rock star. Remember that? Remember the Super Bowl commercial? It was just on. It was like, people working in the office, they were like, you're a rock star. And it was like, Kiss would be like, you're not a rock star. Coming in. Yeah. I think it's the same with comedy. We're not rock stars. Right. That's not what we are. Rock stars are rock stars. We're comedians. So it's a different thing.
I think even the guys that got to that plane, like Eddie, Dice Clay.
Yeah, Kevin Hart, Steve Martin.
Yeah.
But Kevin Hart, definitely.
Dane Cook, I would argue, for 2 albums.
Yep.
For the first 2 albums.
Vicious Circle and,
Retaliation.
Oh, Retaliation.
Retaliation, right. And then Vicious Circle.
That's the double one?
Yeah. Like
Rockstar.
But then he came back, I think it was his 3rd special. He did it at the Laugh Factory. And he brought it back to the intimate shit. Like, you can't fly at that forever. Like, you have to at some point get reconnected. It's no good. Yeah. I don't know, man. If I had a chance to do arena, I'd fucking go get that money, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are y'all scared of the AI?
Oh, like, yeah.
Have you thought, here's what as a father now, let me put on my father hat to the fellow fathers here.
Right.
Have you thought about the ways that your industry could be fucked by technology, and a job that you once thought was fucking safe into perpetuity is now on the brink of extinction? And are you fucking scared of that shit?
Yeah, we talked about that last night for about an hour.
Yes.
I swear to God.
I'm scared of it from scripted, like writing shit. AI is going to write TV shows. And we're going to be fucked once it learns our algorithm and thoughts and all of that shit. But I still think the live show, we will revert back to that.
Yep.
Even if it becomes this boutique, underground fucking thing.
Well, there's got to be that kind of correction, right?
Already, Howie Mandel is reading his podcast ads on AI. Already. That's happening. Already. Howie,
break that down.
Howie Mandel does not read his podcast ads. His AI version of himself reads his podcast
with
ads.
the voice,
with the voice and his face. He has the money for the new age technology, but that technology, once it is affordable to us, that's what he doesn't do. It. He just does his show, and then his voice,
like some E-Trade baby lip ad.
Exactly. No, he had to only allegedly film it once, and then people just type in what that AI Howie Mandel needs to say, and the ads for HelloFresh and everything else is done, and it is over. So the AI ads are already here. As far as now next, I mean, look at that Joe Rogan podcast. There's a whole 3.5 hour Joe Rogan podcast. It's 100% AI.
No.
It is
no.
Right, Pimpy? I'm not wrong on that, right? Yeah, there's Google Joe Rogan AI podcast. Pimp's a fucking AI. You think it's actually Pimp? This is an AI.
I only found out about this thing where they're writing for you. Like my writer said, as a joke, they ran our show through the thing and saw if they can come up with some ideas for the show. And they said they were like simple, they weren't good, but they still generated ideas for our show.
Yes,
it'll get better. And you think a network isn't going to cut costs with that, especially with a writer strike coming up, and they're going to fucking have to pitch up more of the streaming money?
Right.
Yeah. And eventually
there's going to be a counter. There's always a counter after a strike.
Yeah, there'll be an AI actor. We're a year away from the first all AI movie that still you're going to have to pay for the likeness of Tom Cruise, but he's not going to have to do the work. Things like that. That's what's going to. Am I wrong about that, Pimpy? 20 minute. Sorry, so 20 minutes, not the Steve Jobs. So Rogan interviewed Steve Jobs, all AI.
Who's AI? Rogan or
Rogan
Jobs?
is the AI and Steve Jobs. You cannot, right? If you pull it up, you cannot tell the difference.
And they're both having a conversation about
They're having a full conversone. Everything is the same because it's real.
It's freaky.
And the other part about that is, okay, so everyone in this room will most likely be safe because we've learned a skill. And as you said, the live performance will be there. Pimp's job will be there. Venetia's job will be there. We'll probably be okay. But our kids,
Exactly.
That's the scary part, where now are my daughters growing up in a world where almost all, and then what do the people who aren't as fortunate as us, what do they do? There's going to be no room for everyone. I'm starting to think that a lot of this shit, like some of these natural disasters and stuff, like you could fucking make an earthquake. You know, the government's like, we got too many, all the governments of the world are like, we got too many people. We got to start getting some of these people off here and disguising the shit as natural disasters, disguising it as war. But it's really like, we need some, because every 30 years, dude, what do you think World War II was? World War II was 400 million people off the planet in 4 years. That is a reset. And people don't, you know, you think it was war and Hitler and this and that, and it was, but it's like there's parts of me now as I'm going through life being like, do the powers that be just be like, well, we can use a virus, we can use a war, we can use a natural disaster.
I heard that about the pandemic. You heard that. It's like,
right.
I think of America as a corporation. I don't necessarily think of the world as a global corporation, or if it is, it's multiple corporations that aren't necessarily on the same page. But either way, every now and then, a little bit of a reset, a little bit of mass death might be good for the corporation because you keep a little fear there to keep the control. When I think about AI and all of that shit, as it relates to my child, I'm like, oh, you can be a pilot. Probably won't.
AI will do that shit.
We probably once they figure out the autopilot on these cars, I forget AI. The autopilot already lands and takes off planes. I mean, so it's not really that big of a deal.
Right.
The pilot's just there checking on shit mid-flight.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. They don't really fly the plane at all, really.
Not really.
So then you'll have some pilot stewardess hybrid. Where the plane shakes and then the flight attendant, excuse me a second, I gotta go check on the steering wheel.
The AI stewardess are still horny.
Yeah, I worry about. I think entertainment is always the last one to surrender to technology. You know, there is the argument to lean into it and creating better written content, I guess. But
right.
I don't know, man.
Well, in a way, we already have had to kind of surrender, small way, to technology with the algorithm. You're not going to get anywhere with ticket sales unless the algorithm deems it so, right? The algorithm has to say, let me show your stuff to millions more people because millions of people are already liking it, and then the ticket sales come. Or the algorithm, you know, will say, will show that you're popping up in the city if you pay it to do that. If you pay the IG algorithm your ad money, if you give it your money, it pops up in the city on your phone. If you don't, then you don't get tickets. So in a way, it's happened already. You know, how much of it you want to give up is up to you. But I also think, though, that, like, so many times in history, we've been here before. Not this specific issue, but it's like, you know, when the printing press came, everybody's job got wiped out, you know, because there's no, and then you just kind of adapt to the new thing. What the new thing adapt to is, I don't know. I guess that's the game. Figuring out what are you going to adapt to. But as far as like this fear of this is, oh shit, we're on the precipice of this disaster, I kind of feel like we've been here so many times.
Yeah, but
in
I
society.
think it's exponentially, it's speeding up.
But I think that somebody in 1500s would have said that.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But then the question becomes, as a parent, your job is to predict the curve and prepare your kids for a world that you can't even conceive.
Got it.
So what the fuck world are we conceiving when the curve is fast? Because my mom, you know,
the curveball's a fastball. It's a fast curve.
Fast curve.
Right.
Yeah, slider. Cutter. I guess the sinker's just a fast curve. Like, the idea that my parents would just get a college degree and pick a field. And so journalism is what I gravitate. I got a bunch of journalists in my family, so that's what I ended up in. But by the time I got out of college, half the jobs in the newsroom were automated. Half the cameras in the fucking room aren't even fucking manned anymore. And the person that's controlling them isn't even in that fucking city. Then when I started doing radio, half the radio jocks that you hear between songs, they're not in town. So if they're not in town, now you don't even need to pay a jock. Just use the goddamn Howie Mandel shit and just type in the words you want the machine to say. Yeah, that was the hot new track from Cardi B coming up next. Some fucking brand new Migos. Like,
Yeah.
Right.
And as it gets better, it'll sound blacker.
Yeah. The only encouraging news that I've seen.
Let's end with something encouraging.
The only
I'll tell you one thing. Just before you were waxing and you went like this with your glasses, which you've never been able to do before. And it was a whole new thing for you.
So there's a new
You
Chrissy.
went like this.
Yeah. This is AI. This is what my AI looks like.
Yeah.
This is what. So one news article I saw, which I was like, okay, that's good. Is everybody during the pandemic, of course, is saying that you can work from home now. What's going to happen to the skyscrapers in any downtown city or whatever? That they're getting the same work rate from people at home than they would be in the office. So this company's not going to spend the $50,000 to rent the floor, right? All that was true. The stats from the last 3 months have seen a decline in work from home because people were social beings and we want to be back in the office with each other, and we'll work better human to human than we will with the AI doing everything. So the trend could be trending now the other way. So some companies are taking that research and being like, oh, the social aspect of being human is the thing that AI will never be able to do and conquer, and that might be the place where all the jobs are at.
I think what we're approaching also is a degree of, since you want some positivity, some production equity between content creators versus needing a studio or a network to reach the people.
Right.
Because up until YouTube, you needed someone else to get to where you are to sell the theater show.
Yep.
Someone else had to tell you yes.
Yeah.
Now, even though there's an algorithm to navigate, you can learn the algorithm, you learn how to hack it, you learn how to get to the fucking people directly. So if we're going to start doing more CGI, we're going to start doing more AI. Most of the cameras that content creators use now are neck and neck with what they're using in television.
Yeah.
So if that's the case and things are going to get more techie and AI, well, if the studio's using AI to write a script, well, bitch, so can I.
Right. Exactly.
And so we're using the same fucking apps or whatever. It's not like your AI is better than my fucking AI.
Yeah.
So I think that there's going to be some degree of levity in the world for our craft. Because I'm just thinking, how do I keep doing this outside of just being on stage 40 weeks a year?
Right.
Because as my son gets older, I want to cut that to 20.
Yeah.
You know, like if I'm only touring, let's say right now, and this is the type of shit I have to think about now. Let's say Daily Show don't fuck with me. They're already doing At Midnight in the place of Corden, so that's not an option. So the only other thing is to try and sell my own independent show. If those things shows come and go. I've sold scripts that have gone, some haven't. But the stage remains the same.
Yeah.
So if I'm on stage, then what are the other things that I can do that I can control in terms of content creation? That animation shit, I think that's going to be like what you're talking about, where they just have a full digital type movie or whatever.
Yeah.
I think people are going to have to start learning that shit. And then like you got, I mean, they had a commercial during the Super Bowl a couple of weeks ago, but that site Tubi.
Oh, we talked about it.
Yeah.
Tubi is putting a lot of independent shit on a lot. Some of it is shot poorly and it's terrible lighting and you need a fucking budget to get a second light. But it's fair.
Right.
That's fair. That's free market.
Right.
So if you can find your audience in any type of way, you don't have to necessarily lean on a show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why we encourage you guys to go to onlyfans.com/heybabe, where Sal and I are doing a show there that is a little bit different.
It's a little different.
It's a little different.
It goes against what you know of us.
Yeah.
Or maybe it embraces what you know
Was it
of
cooking? Yo, cooking.
Yeah, butt naked. There's just one episode is just the Pimp's got the camera on mine and Sal's open asshole the whole time.
That sounds nice.
It's nice and clean.
It's not. It's a departure. It is a departure. From
Well, Roy, since the AI isn't here yet, since we haven't gotten the official word on the Daily Show, where can people see you next?
Yes, and except for the snitch bitch.
Yeah, except for that snitch biatch.
Fucking snitch bitch.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
You know, we don't, but you know.
damn.
And that's enough.
Yeah, I know who it is.
All you had to do was come to me like a fucking man after the show and go, hey, there's another comedian with a similar thought. But you didn't do that, did you? Because you like drama.
That's right. And now, snitch bitch, these dates are not for you. Okay? These dates are not for you.
But for the people who want to go, where?
Shit, what do I have left at this point? I'm in Arizona. Stand-up live. I don't fucking know.
Stand-up live, good.
I think it's Stand-Up Live. It might be Tempe Improv. I don't.
Just Google Roy
I'll
Wood
be in the
Phoenix.
desert. Yeah, just Roy Wood Jr. Put an @ in front, put a .com behind it. You'll find the rest of the dates. I got a bunch of tour dates this summer. Hedge and bets against the writers' strike, boys. Got to get on that road. Writers' strike might hit, so I need to keep the fucking money coming in. I will be on tour this summer, motherfucker.
All right, baby. ChrisDComedy.com, SalVulcanoComedy.com.
Yes.
And that's it, babes.
The great Roy Wood Jr., thank you for joining us.
The great Roy Wood Jr.
Thank you, boys.
Appreciate it.
This has been Hey Babe.
This has been Hey Babe.
Snitch bitch.
Don't be a fake, don't be a flake, don't run away from your feelings, babe.